podcast in this wonderful, about half hour, 45 minutes that we're going to be doing here with you today. And we have a very special guest. This person is one of the few people that can truly get under my skin. She has been very close to me for a number of years, and I'd like to introduce you all to Ashly Hutchins. Ashly, are you on the air with us here today?
I am.
Oh, fantastic. Great to have you here. How is it going where you're at right now?
It's going all right. I'm in the top of a carriage house just watching things on the hurricane. Today's my Saturday, so I'm just chilling out real hard.
Fantastic. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to do on the weekends. You got to chill out real hard.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, just for full transparency for everybody, I've known Ashly since, it's been about 2002.
100 years?
At least 100 years, absolutely.
I think possibly 150.
Excellent. And like I said, Ashly is one of the very few people that can get under my skin. Why is that, Ashly?
I don't know. I've known you forever, and, you've always been only 20 minutes away, even when you were living in Chicago, and I think that we've just always been really close friends, and I took the coolest pictures of you ever in that old hallway in my old apartment building that had a skylight, so I've seen you put a cigarette through a lip ring.
Yes,
I think that qualified.
I completely forgot about that. Cigarette through a lip ring.
I didn't. I've got a picture of it.
Okay, well, you know what? We might have to bring that onto the podcast, onto the website here, and we'll have the exclusive pictures of me putting a cigarette through a lip ring, folks. You heard it here first. So, what I was meaning by that, though, Ashly, is you're my tattoo artist.
Oh yeah, that too. I guess I didn't. As a blonde moment for me, I didn't put that together. Sorry, blondes. Yeah, I've tattooed you a bunch of times.
I think I'm just looking at my arms and my chest right now, and I think we're up to 11 tattoos. We got a bunch more to go. That.
Well, you hadn't been tattooed since before I tattooed you. You hadn't been tattooed in like 10, 15 years or something like that, right? That's
right. Yeah, I hadn't been tattooed since 1993, 94 was the last time I got a tattoo, and then we ran into each other. You started tattooing, and but first though, I know you as a photographer.
Yeah.
And then you switched over to the art of tattoo. So, how was that for you? Is it a complete mind switch? Is it it's obviously two different disciplines.
Yeah, it's when you think about it in terms of like having a compositional eye, and I think that goes from either like composing a photograph or, doing a drawing. It's a little bit more similar if you're going to do like still life photography, but I think still being able to compositionally line things up in either medium kind of I think they correlate with each other. So yeah, I think it's an interesting transition, but I always drew too at the same time. I just I didn't really think I was that good at it. Mm-hmm. And being in my apprenticeship and drawing all the time and learning how to draw for tattoos gave me a lot more confidence in my drawing.
Sure.
But I've always taken pictures, so I had a lot more confidence with that, but it did not pay the bills. So
Understood.
I was a waitress photographer.
And myself, I've been a pizza delivery guy, theater guy, and a poet.
Pizza delivery pedagogy?
You know it, pizza delivery pedagogy. There's no finer way to pay for a graduate school education than pizza delivery. Let me tell you, folks.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it wasn't too much of a stretch for you to go from photography to tattooing, or?
Well, they are, when you kind of talk about it like that, they end up being two very different things. When I'm talking about the art of everything, just kind of visually, having a visual eye, I think works well with both, but mechanically, totally different things. You got to learn, tattooing is not all about just being able to draw, because you also have to know your machine, you have to know how to operate your machine, you have to have a steady hand with everything, so there's a lot more that goes into it. Which I guess you could say kind of correlates to knowing your camera and knowing how to, if you're using like a manual SLR camera where, you're setting your own f-stops and aperture and everything like that, then, I guess it can be kind of similar. I haven't really ever thought about it like that.
Well, there you go. See, that's why you came on the show, because you want to think about crazy shit like this on a Sunday morning.
I can curse on here?
Absolutely.
Oh, game changer. All right.
Oh, yeah. No, by all means, fucking swear as much as you fucking want to fucking swear.
Oh,
Okay?
fantastic.
You
Excellent.
know, we can go that route. It's not a problem.
I love the internet.
It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. All right, so Ashly, now yeah, before we got on the air here, you were telling me that you're going on tour. So can you? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you're a tattoo artist, and you know time is money, and you know you're doing that, and I'm interrupting your money making session here. So.
Oh, no, you're fine. Today's my Saturday.
Okay.
Even though I know it's Sunday. So.
So, what projects are you doing right now? Like you said to me beforehand, you're going on tour, and you're a tattoo practice at your shop there. So
Mhm.
what are you doing right now?
Well, currently I'm drinking almond milk out of the carton, but
Oh, she's
I'm
dangerous like that, folks. Out of the carton.
because I'm an adult. No, I'm going on tour with my friend's band. I'm going to do merch for them. They're doing a full U.S. and Canada tour. Because music is also something, as I know you know about me, that I'm obsessed with. In another life, I would have been a musician, I think, instead of being a photographer, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of I haven't. It's a working to me. It's like a vacation because I haven't really been on vacation for more than 3 days in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be grueling, and I'll definitely be working. But at the same time, just being out to go out west again and out of the country is going to be pretty rad. And I just didn't schedule appointments and took the time off work. Because sometimes I think like you can get consumed by what you do, even if you love it. And I think it's good to have a separate life, you know?
Right.
Because I've watched some good friends of mine that have been tattooers for a long time. And when you do something for other people all the time, it's not entirely like a selfless act, like being a first responder or anything like that. Like you're working with their idea and with their personality. And, if you just go to work and then go home and draw and go to sleep and wake up and go to work and do the same thing over and over and over again, then you can get burnt out. And I've been trying to learn from people that's happened to in order to have a healthy balance between being myself and also being a tattooer.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it is going on vacation, going to out of town shows, doing this tour, not completely separating it from my life because it's always going to be a part of me, but not, there's also this, in the tattoo community, there's also some people that have this idea that if you don't let tattooing just destroy everything else in your life and be the single most important thing, that you're not committed to it. And I think that's bullshit and I disagree with it. So I think you have to have a healthy balance of both.
Fantastic. And we got our first swear word out of you.
Oh, there'll be more.
Oh,
Fuck,
great.
it's like my favorite word.
There we go. Hey, we got two. All right, we're up to two, folks. We got two swear words out of her. All right, so can we see you on the internet? Do you have anything on the internet that people can drop by and look at?
Yeah, I use my Instagram as my like an online portfolio. I'm also on the shop's website, but my Instagram, I can update it on my phone and I don't have to send it to somebody to put on the website, so it gets updated way quicker.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my Instagram is @ghostlife, which is actually something I have tattooed on my wrist and spray painted on a car at Cadillac Ranch when I drove across the country the first time.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said you're going to be going on tour with a band.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to be Metallica? Is this going to be
Who?
Guar? Is it going to
Yeah,
be
actually, it is
Leonard
Guar.
Cohen? You're going on tour with
What if
Guar.
I was dead, Tim?
No, fucking, you're going on tour with Guar.
Well, no, I'm not doing merch for Guar, but I'm going on tour with my best friend's band, and they are going on tour with Guar and this other band called Ghoul. His band's called U.S. Bastards, so I'm going to be in the band with them.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Right. So, folks.
Did you just guess that, or did I tell you that?
Well, actually, I know all.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Enough said.
So, folks, you definitely want to check this out. You want to go onto their websites and knock it out. Bump into Ashly. She's going to be doing the merch there for you. Fantastic tattoo artist.
I'm hard to miss.
She is hard to miss. You will not miss her. I guarantee it. And being transparent here, and I'm unbiased because I only speak the truth. She does killer fucking ass tattoos.
Well, thank you very much.
And nobody else touches my skin except for my wife.
Yeah. And your kids.
And well, my kids, yeah. But, anybody else, they don't get to touch my skin. Ashly gets to jam needles into me thousands of times a second and cause me a lot of pain, but a lot of permanent happiness.
I feel very privileged, by the way.
Absolutely. Well, I don't just let anyone tattoo me. Okay, so Ashly, are you ready for the Satanic 7 questions?
Yeah, hell yeah, bring it on.
Okay, now, not to add any pressure onto you.
Okay.
But the previous folks have been doing pretty good on this. Myself, when I did the Satanic 7 questions, there's 7 of them. I got 3 right out of 7, so I'm 3 for 4.
Okay. I love a challenge.
We had Nelson Velasquez. He got 5 and 2. He was 5 and 2. Then we had Anessa Ferris in episode 3, and she got 6 and 1. So we don't have a perfect score yet.
All right.
Do you think you can get a perfect score today?
We're going to find out.
Okay, we're going to try it. We're going to try it here, folks. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Your first question. Are you sitting down? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You might not want to sit down for this.
Nah.
Okay. All right, your first question is, what do you dislike about the art world? And now, this can be the overall art world. This is going to be about the tattooing world. This is going to
How
be
are
about
these right and wrong if they're not? I thought they were yes or no questions. Oh, okay. I was like, how do you get that question wrong? You just not answer it?
Well, no. You can get it wrong. You can get it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, our audience decides.
Oh, okay. All right. So what do I dislike about the art world? Being
what do you
tattooing
dislike?
or otherwise? Well, part of what I said before, where I think that there's a underlying or overt feeling through part of the tattooer community that if you don't let tattooing ruin everything else in your life and be this obsession, that you're somehow not committed to it. And I just disagree with that. I think that that's a very romantic notion, but I think if you want to actually live your life and, try to find some semblance of happiness, then you have to have a balance between the two of them. And so I'll fight anybody that says otherwise. And in the rest part of the art world, I think that there's a penchant to blow art out of, I think people get famous for doing bullshit. And I think that if something doesn't move me as a person and, move my emotions, then I don't really understand why, somebody's video art of them walking up a hill for 25 minutes and doing absolutely nothing else is somehow genius and groundbreaking. So that's my answer.
Well, I think that was a great, a great piece of film
I hate
that
that
I
shit
did.
so much.
That was a great piece of film I did. That answer is wrong. Wrong. I don't
accept that. I think I got it right.
I did that for 3 hours to get those 25 minutes. I'll have you know.
And it's edited.
And it's edited. Yes. Took me 3 hours. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you that one. That one.
All right.
All right. Question number 2. What is the allure to being an artist, and do you live up to the myth, or do you perpetuate the myth?
Well, what's great about being an artist, I think, being able to express yourself. I mean, it's a weird, pack a snack to go down this rabbit hole if you want to crawl inside my mind. But the things that I create are just a little tiny part of it that I get to exercise out of it. And I think being able to do that is amazing. Otherwise, I don't know what I would do, But then again, I think that's also, I don't know if it's necessarily a myth or a little bit more of a stereotype. I think that, artists are crazy people, but I have a theory about that. And my theory about that is that, perfection can't exist in nature because it's just not a natural thing. And I think that that's nature's way of, keeping everybody in check. You can make all these amazing things or create all this beautiful music or compose things or whatever. And, but you can't do mathematics and you suffer from depression or, you're schizophrenic or whatever. There's always some other, the pendulum swings in the other direction, because I think that if you could do all of these things and, be smart and good at math and good at art and, well put together and all, it doesn't exist. I don't think it's natural.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Oh, you're 2-0 for right now. You're doing good.
All right.
The audience is applauding in the background. They're loving this. They're loving this. Okay.
Are you going to put canned laughter with it?
No, absolutely
not. A sitcom? Oh, okay,
good. No. That's cheap podcast trickery there. We'll have none of that here.
Okay, good. I'm on board.
All right. Okay, I like this question. This is question number 3. Are there people that you don't tell that you're an artist? And if not, is it wrong? Oh, hold on. I'm screwing this question up. There we go. Are there people you don't tell that you're an artist? And if not, is it wrong or bad that some artists conceal their talent?
Okay, well, that's a perfect question for me because, okay, so when I first get off work, I'm incredibly awkward and I need this little decompression time, as I'm sure a lot of people do. But when you are covered in tattoos, that's the only thing that people want to talk to you about a lot of the time. And I don't, depends on, I guess, if I'm irritated or not, but I don't fault people for it because a lot of times people just want to know. And I'm a relatively friendly person, so like I will talk to people, but sometimes I think people don't understand their boundaries. And they just bum rush you with every single tattoo question that they've ever wanted to know. And they don't know your life. They don't know whether you just got off work and you just want to like eat a taco and sit by yourself for a minute, or whether, you and your boyfriend just broke up, or, anything else that's going on in your life, and they get a little overzealous with it. And I think that they kind of overstep their boundaries as far as like, your personal space, So I do know a lot of tattooers. Sometimes when people start talking about it, if I'm in a group of people, I just won't say anything.
Right.
But I haven't ever actually just flat out said no. But I do know people that are tattooers that tell people that they do something else. And it's just because they want to kind of avoid that conversation. It's one thing if somebody emails you, or if they come by the shop, or if they, set up a consultation. I mean, you know me, I love what I do. I'll talk about it all day long. I love the history of it and machines and everything else. But, yeah, sometimes when you're just out in the world being a person and you just got off work, you don't want to talk about work, and sometimes, or they just want to talk about all the tattoos that they have and then ask you if you would have charged them the same thing, even though that tattoo's already there, and you just don't really want to deal with it.
Yep.
And then if you politely decline the conversation or don't say thank you hard enough when they tell you that they like your tattoos or whatever, then they get upset with you. And then that's also something hard to deal with because I didn't start the conversation, So I don't think that's wrong, because I think that that's just also kind of avoiding an awkward conversation or somebody's feelings being hurt.
Sure, absolutely. It's like if you're talking to somebody and they say that they're a doctor, and you're like, "Oh, hey, can you take a look at this pus-filled goiter that's been on my back?"
That's harder because, tattooers don't take a Hippocratic oath. Like, the doctor has to talk to you about that, That's when a lot of doctors will just not even mention it because they're legally bound to that shit, We just don't really feel like it. But, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it's kind of like if everybody understood their boundaries, then it wouldn't be a thing. But,
sure.
People are people, so...
And why should it be? You and I should get along so awfully. Oh, wait, I went there, didn't I? Oh, God.
Yeah, but Depeche Mode rules, so it's okay.
All right. So, hey, that's bonus points right there. You're 3.5-0 right now. You're doing
yes.
Great. All right. Question number 4. Here we go.
Okay.
This one's a tough one. I don't think you're going to get this one. This is going to be the one that throws you.
Okay.
I know it. Okay. If you throw yourself at the ground and miss, what are you doing, and how do you continue to accomplish this seemingly impossible task? So it's a two-parter.
Okay.
Throwing yourself at the ground and missing, what are you doing, and how do you continue to accomplish this seemingly impossible task?
Well, it's kind of like that time that I fell up the stairs and cut my face open recently. I didn't quite hit the ground because I fell on the stairs, but, if I really wanted to, I'm sure I'll fall again. That's a weird question for me because I fall all the time, and I have a feeling this is a metaphor, but it's something so prevalent in my life that I take it very literally because I'm always falling down. I think that if you see it as a metaphor, if before I started tattooing, I've always wanted to do it, but I needed to really kind of get the confidence in order to be okay with failure. And I think that that's been hard for me for a large part of my life. And part of that comes from, things that are very personal to me and how I grew up, and getting my confidence level up to being okay with people telling me that I sucked at what I love to do. And I think that's something that I've always been afraid of because I was like, it's just going to crush me and I'm not going to be able to go on. But I think that if you actively work on yourself and try to be more confident in who you know you are and what you love to do, and also understand that you are going to fail, but it's okay because you can always get better at it, then, you know, you're more perceptive to just taking that leap of faith. And so if I'm going to take that question as a metaphor, I've already taken it literally.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that if you try and you don't, then you just have to take the steps to build up your confidence to be able to just do it again. Because eventually, if you work hard enough at it, it will work out for you. And it might not work out for you in the way that you like envisioned in your mind for forever about these, you know, if you have delusions of grandeur or whatever. But I think that it can be very realistic. And I think that that's accepting that that's where you're at and that's okay. And then just enriching your life around it is kind of the, you know, that's the shit. That's the tits, as the kids say. So yeah, if that's the metaphorically how I see that, I think you just need to not be afraid of failure.
Nice, excellent. You know, I'm going to give you that question. I'm going to give you that
all
question.
All right.
So you're 4.5-0 right now.
Okay.
I don't know how you got the bonus part of that, so this is fantastic. All right, question.
Hey man, I don't make the rules, you know.
That's right. Neither do I, for some reason. I don't know. I'll have to call my wife in on this one because she makes the rules around here. All right, question number 5.
Okay.
All right. How do you describe your process from inception to creation to display presentation?
Okay. Well, I mean, it depends on. That's a 2-part question for me because it's either if you're talking about work for work or you're talking about work for like out of my mind. Work for work, I you know, get emailed by someone and they set up a consultation. We sit down, we talk about all the different aspects of the design that they're trying to get done. You know, I take a tracing of the area, I make a little folder for them, and I write down all the points. And then we set an appointment from there. And then from that, I do the drawing according to what they're looking for in the style that I draw. And then they come in for their tattoo and we do it in the style that I tattoo. And that's what I do for work. Art stuff, you know, I hear very visually. So I get inspired visually by music a lot of the time, song lyrics or even just like notes in a song that stirs up some kind of emotion in me, and I'll see something in my head and then I'll go draw that. Mm-hmm. Also, you know, I'm nerdy and I'll see like the way that the leaves overturn when we're about to have a storm, and I'll see something in my head and then I'll go sit down, and that's the stuff that I talk about, just like exercising out of my mind. So yeah, that's how that gets accomplished. It's very a witchy little process, actually, if I think about it. But, you know, that's just you've seen From Hell, right, Tim?
Absolutely, I've seen From Hell.
That's just every time I tell people that I hear visually and I start describing all of that, all I think about is that when he's Johnny Depp's character talking about his visions, and the other guy goes, "You know, they used to burn men at you like the stake, right?"
Well, you know, we are close to Salem, Massachusetts, so.
I mean, relatively. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my process, at least. I think everyone that makes art has a different way of doing it. You know, I'm more of an emotionally motivated artist rather than like a politically motivated artist, I guess. But I respond to a lot of that art too. So, sure. But yeah, that's my process comes from way more of an emotional place.
Excellent. And just to let everyone know, you know, when I'm getting a tattoo from Ashly, I'm usually sending a carrier pigeon down to her, and then casting a magic spell and transporting myself to her studio. And usually I have a big black cloud and a lot of storm things happening, so everyone flees the studio, and then we go ahead and get down to work.
Yeah, you know, everybody's got their different process, but yeah, that's the way that we do it.
Yeah, that's the way we do it. So I'm not recommending that for anyone else. But if you have the time, the power, the chutzpah to do that, by all means, especially the
gumption. The gumption is what I.
There we go. Gumption works too. All right. Question number 6. Can you believe we're already at question number 6? This is amazing.
Did I get that one right?
You got that one right. So you're at
yes.
5.5-0.
All right.
5.5-0. All right. Here we go. Question number 6. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? And if possible, can you show your work?
Huh? Is it an American swallow?
It's a Canadian swallow. Everyone always asks me if it's African or European. No, it's Canadian. What do you think?
It's Canadian swallow?
It's always a Canadian. Yeah.
You are a Canadian swallow.
Absolutely.
I would say that depends on how you draw it, because I do lots of swallow tattoos. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. How big's the swallow? That's a conversation I have all the time. If we mm-hmm. take this question and turn it around and equate it to tattooing and work stuff, because mm-hmm. As opposed to drawing on pieces of paper or painting a painting, which is something that's finite and it's right there, it's a canvas or it's a piece of paper. Tattoos go on people, and people change, people age, people grow, people work out, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I have to have a conversation with people all the time as far as things having to be a certain size. So I guess I just kind of throw that into every other aspect of conversation. So yeah, what size is the swallow? How fast is it going? I think that's an unanswerable question, actually.
Okay, all right.
But I could make up a number.
Go ahead and make up a number.
I'm kind of partial to number 7.
Number 7, okay. I'm going to give you half credit on that. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to give you half credit.
If you put that with the other half, that's a full point.
That's a full point. Yep. So you are at 6-0. You are at 6. I'm going to give you 6.
I'm working hard at it too.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Last question. And besides that, you would have got a point and a half if you would have said 42. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
42 on that. But okay. Here we go. Now this is the question that usually trips up everybody. All right.
Was that the answer to the ultimate question, by the way?
Yes. Ultimate answer to the universe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But what's the question to the ultimate answer to the universe? Do you know that?
No, I can't get that bonus point.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, what do you get when you multiply 6 times 9 minus 12?
I don't do math. You know that.
42.
Oh, okay. All right. There we go.
I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I get it all into Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So that's my hang up.
Hey, that's all right with me.
There you go. All right. Last question. If money was no object, if time is no concern, resources are unlimited, what project would you attempt? And if all negative factors were eliminated, would you allow this to be the only work you're known by? So another two-parter here.
Okay.
Money's no object, time's no concern, resources unlimited. What project are you going to do? And the second part is, you complete that project, you get it knocked out. Is that the work that you want to be known by and the only work you want to be known by?
All right. So, man, if I had unlimited resources, I'd love to travel, because I'd love to see Asia. I'd love to go take a trip around the world and just kind of go get inspired by a bunch of things that I've only seen on the internet and read about in books. Mm-hmm. Because I think that, and also, go seeing tattoo history from different countries, and tattooers in different countries are just amazing. And I'd like to just kind of be immersed in all of that and learn from it, and kind of use that as inspiration to whatever would come out of it. Just the thought of that is almost overwhelming. So that's what I would do. Because like I said, I get inspired by visually, but also I get inspired by music, and that comes from wherever. I like, Eastern European folk music a lot. So, so I would do that and then see what comes from it. And I think that ultimately, if I could, I think that I wouldn't want to be remembered for only, one thing. I mean, if you get to be remembered at all, I think that that's rad. But I like to create so much different stuff that I don't ever want to have to choose, because I think that since art is something so personal to you, and it's something that you choose to create. I mean, human beings have been creating art since we've been making anything. Why? I don't know. And to record history? Sure. To just get things out of their mind? Sure. Nobody's ever really going to know the answer to that question, but we've been doing it for forever. And we've also been tattooing each other for thousands of years. One of my friends used to say that, he said, it's the world's oldest profession. It's older than prostitution. People have been tattooing themselves for centuries. Why? I don't know. We've always just had this need to carry around something that reminds us of something else. But at the same time, I think since making something like that is so personal, that you don't ever have to limit yourself to only one. If I want to draw, if I want to tattoo, if I want to make a painting, if I want to play a song, I think that part of being a human being that's clued into all that stuff is the ability to, do all of it. Why not? You know? So yeah, I wouldn't want to limit myself to one thing, but I think that if you get to be remembered for anything, then you're got a leg up. So.
Well, and you're going to be remembered, if for nothing else, this podcast.
Did I get that question right?
Yeah, you got it right. I'm going to give it to you.
I got 7.
You got the 7.
I'm the first one that got 7.
You're the first one to get the 7 and 0.
I crawled tooth and nail for 7 too. I had to get 2 halves, but
yeah, you did. You made it. You got it. So your trophy is in the mail.
Excellent.
We're going to have that shipped down to you. We'll get you a T-shirt as well. Not a problem. All done and done. And all that good stuff. Fantastic. Well, again, Ashly, thank you so much for being on our show here today. We appreciate your insight into the world. And is there any final thoughts you'd like to toss out to our audience? Creating more than they consume is kind of our touchstone here. We want to inspire our audience to get out there and put down that cell phone and pick up a tattoo machine or
well, don't tell them to pick up a tattoo machine.
See, there we go.
No, pick up a pencil. I don't think that people that are untrained should be going out and tattooing each other, because there's with what I do, there's a lot of other factors that go into it, like bloodborne pathogens, and we're all CPR certified and stuff like that. So, but no, I think take a minute, put your phone down. Put on a song you like, go to the river, go to a park, sit there for a second and just be a person. That's not, I love the internet, but that's not connected to technology for a minute and then see what comes from it. Take a walk. That's what I do a lot.
There you go.
You never know what you're going to be inspired by.
Or better. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and even if you don't think that because people tell me that all the time, like I can't draw and I don't expect anybody to draw their own tattoos for me, but, so, if you have the urge to create something, do it. It doesn't matter whether or not you think that it's a Picasso. It doesn't have to be. If it comes out of your mind, then it's yours, and owning that is really important.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ashly. And folks, remember.
Thank you.
You can go and see Ashly. She's going to be on tour this year. How long is that tour going to run? Do you know?
It's 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
From the end of October to mid-December.
Fantastic. So end of October to mid-December. Hopefully she'll be back by the time my birthday rolls around because I got to get a tattoo.
Hell yeah.
And that's how I get inspired is, by her puncturing my skin multiple times and injecting ink into my skin. That's the way I do it. But folks, we definitely want you to go out there, create something, shoot it into us. You can email your stuff into us. We'd be happy to have you on the podcast here. Ashly, this is pretty painless for you?
Oh, this was fantastic. I had a blast.
Okay, there you go.
But I'm crazy, so I like stuff like this.
Good deal. Well, again, we want to thank you all for listening in to Chemo's Den of Iniquity. I'm Timothy Chemo Bryan. I'm your host here, and we definitely want you to create more than you consume. Email us, get on the podcast, check out Ashly's work. It is fantastic. If you see me, I'll roll up my sleeves and I'll show you Ashly's work. I'm a walking billboard for her. Excellent. Well, you all have a great day. And again, Ashly, thank you so much.
Thank you.